Problems with pronoun references are very common in student writing. There is good news though. Solving these problems is really very easy. Let's begin by talking about this. The referent of a pronoun should always be clear. Now the referent means what the pronoun is referring to. So let's begin with indefinite reference. Now an indefinite reference is a problem that occurs when the pronoun is you or when the pronoun is they, and it doesn't clearly refer to a specific antecedent. Now, antecedent is the word that the pronoun refers to, what it's talking about. You can fix this problem by rewording the sentence and eliminating the pronoun, or by replacing the pronoun with a noun. So let's look at some examples. On the left, you see the awkward examples. In the superheroes article, it discussed only 3 women. Easily revised to say the superheroes article discussed only 3 women. So just eliminating that pronoun altogether, the problem is solved. Second example, in the article, they state that girls aren't interested in superheroes. Let's look at the revision. The author of the article states that girls aren't interested in superheroes. In this example, we've replaced the indefinite pronoun they with a noun, author. So now we've made it very clear who we're talking about. Let's look at our third example. In other publications, however, you learned that girls are interested. Let's look at the revised on that. Other publications, however, claim that girls are interested. This way we've eliminated that pronoun you because it doesn't really refer to anything. It's kind of wishy-washy what it refers to. That's an indefinite reference. See how easy it was to fix those? Then we have a general reference. A general reference problem occurs when the pronoun it, this, that, which, or such is used to refer to a general idea rather than to a specific antecedent. It makes it vague and difficult to understand what's being talked about. You can fix this problem easily by just rewriting the sentence. Let's look at some examples and you'll see what I mean. Here's an awkward example. The sidekick is weak and vulnerable, which makes the character appealing. There we have the pronoun which. It's not really clear what it's referring to. So we can revise that sentence very easily. The sidekick's weakness and vulnerability make the character appealing. Now we know exactly whose weakness and vulnerability we're talking about. Let's look at our second example. Sidekicks don't like dangerous situations. That is how most people feel. Now we have the pronoun that, and it's not entirely clear what the reference is. We can revise it very easily. For an example, like most people, sidekicks don't like dangerous situations. Sentence is easily rewritten to be completely and totally clear. Then we have ambiguous reference. An ambiguous reference, first let me give you the definition of ambiguous. Ambiguous means having 2 or more possible meanings. That can make it very confusing if you're trying to figure out what a writer is talking about. An ambiguous reference problem occurs when a pronoun could refer to 2 or even more than 2 antecedents. Let's look at some examples in a minute and talk about how to fix those. It's easy to eliminate these references by rewriting the sentence so that you clarify what the pronoun refers to. Here's our examples. Princess Xena and Gabrielle were featured in a 1990s TV show. She inspired a series of books as well. We have 2 she's in that sentence, Princess Xena and Gabrielle. So now we have a pronoun she. It's not entirely clear which one of those 2 women is being referred to. But revising is very simple. Princess Xena and Gabrielle were featured in a 1990s TV show. Xena inspired a series of books as well. Now we know exactly who she is. Let's look at our second example. Xena's allies help her overcome her enemies. They usually come from another kingdom. So are these they? Does that mean allies or enemies? It's not clear. Could be either one. That's ambiguous. Let's look at the revision. Xena's allies, who usually come from another kingdom, help her overcome her enemies. Now we know who they was referring to. It's all cleared up now. Here's why it matters. If you use indefinite, general, or ambiguous references, your writing can be very confusing, and that's not what anybody wants. You need to make sure your references are always clear so they show logical relationships among the ideas in your sentences. It also makes your writing a lot easier to read and to understand. Let me show you the following example, and I think you'll see why it's important to have clear references. And here's an article. In an article on the internet, it says that Zena's village was attacked by an evil warlord when she was a little girl. Zena and her mother fought the invaders until they were driven out of the village. As a result of the experience, Zena discovered a sense of power in war. It inspired her to leave home and begin a life dedicated to waging war. So we have some unclear and vague pronoun references here. Let's see if we can't clear them up. An article on the internet explains that Zena's village was attacked by an evil warlord when Zena was a young girl. Zena and her mother fought the invaders until the invading forces were driven out of the village. As a result of the experience, Zena discovered a sense of power in war. This new feeling inspired her to leave home and begin a life dedicated to waging war. So you can see that each sentence with an indefinite pronoun reference was rewritten, and now the meaning is completely and totally clear. Pronoun reference problems are easily solved, and knowing how to revise your writing to eliminate these problems is going to make your writing a lot stronger, easier to read and understand, and it'll be much more enjoyable.